Hello and welcome to The Back Podcast, Australia's favourite gaming podcast, as voted on by us, the hosts of The Back Podcast, Australia's favourite gaming podcast. It is Monday, the 1st of August, 2022. I am Nick Richardson, and today I'm joined by Peter Darper Burns.
Shit, it's my mum's birthday soon. The word August terrified me into action. I'll be shopping for the next 5 minutes.
Excellent. And she's ANZ's first Xbox MVP and the world's worst variety gamer. It's Miss Deus Geek. Diana, welcome to the show.
Never been introduced that way, but thank you. It's perfect.
Well, you wrote the introduction. It's from your Twitch page. So you have introduced yourself that way. I would never call a guest who has come on the show for the first time the worst variety gamer.
Unfortunately, it's very true, though, so...
Good.
That's fine. I think I could give you a run for your money as the worst variety gamer, because half the time when I stream, I don't even get to the video game that I was supposed to be playing. It is literally 50-50 percentage that I end up playing any video game on a stream that I start, even though I promise I'm going to be playing games. So if you are literally playing a video game, you're already a better streamer than I am.
Streets ahead.
I'm dying most of the time, so I don't know if you count that as playing.
Okay. No, that's fine. No, dying is fine. Well, we are very excited to have you here. For those people watching who don't know who you are, do you want to just give us a little introduction about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, I'm Diana. I've basically been around the block when it comes to gaming. I've reviewed games, played games, streamed games, and now I advocate for diversity in games, which is a bit of a passion project of mine. And also now I also work in games, so technically I can't do a lot of the passion stuff because I'm not allowed to.
Ain't that life?
Yeah, they don't tell you that.
Hey, you know that thing you love? Boss says no.
Yeah, totally. You know that thing you love that could help your job? Boss says no. Yes, know that feeling very, very strongly. And what sort of games are you into? What is your? I feel like I have my tastes in games have evolved over time, but at the moment, what sort of games draw your attention?
A lot of them are story-based games, so narrative-driven. A lot of Uncharted, Tomb Raider style games, so action-adventure, story-based. And then the odd horror here and there. So Resident Evil has been my go-to from time to time.
Nice.
Those jump scares, they just get you.
Yeah. Have you played Resi 4? I'm excited for the remake because I never played it.
I've never played 4, no.
There you go. We're going to get a treat.
There you go. We're all going to be scared for the first time together. While Gus sits there and goes, the original was actually a bit better.
I think I find that the jump scares were better when they came really slowly at you.
Yeah, and the controls were very difficult to deal with. Well, we are very excited to have you here, Diana, on the show. No, I was going to say we tried to get you on last week, and then so there was a mix-up, and it's like, that's not interesting. Why the fuck would you bring that up? But then I opened my mouth to say something, and then I went, well, I'm exhausted and still sick. My brain is not working fast enough to come up with something else to pivot to. So now I just need to reveal the thing that I was going to say, and now I'm just talking about it.
Yeah.
And I've taken way more time talking about this than I would have if I just said the stupid thought in the first place.
I'm glad you went on that little rant, though, because if you hadn't, you would have said, we're so excited to have you, beat, no.
Yeah. No. And then I just would have
More context was required after that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Pete would have just cut to the end card. Okay, let's move on with the news because, Pete, it's not going to break itself. Backup is presented by one of our top stitch patrons and the best evil person we know, whoever decides tire strategy at Ferrari. You suck. Sorry, I mean Evil Spy Boy. Get your exclamation mark Spy Boys out in the chat because thanks to his generous Patreon support, Evil Spy Boy is bringing you the backup, and he hopes you bring the generosity to Food Bank Australia. Food Bank provide regular breakfast to more than 132,000 students at schools across the country. And on top of this, more than 200,000 kids seek food relief from their charities every single month. Donate at foodbank.org.au. There is a link in Nightbot right now, and head to tasteofmultifish.com for more about Evil Spy Boy's proclivities. All right, let's back up and look at the biggest stories of the week as voted on by us, the hosts of the backup. Well, we back up and look at the biggest stories of the week. And Diana, as our guest, please start us off with the story that made you back up and say, hey, that's a pretty big story.
personally, for me, I was really excited by the Black Panther War for Wakanda, I think, DLC that came out for Marvel's Avengers. And I just found out recently that they are talking about making a Black Panther game. So a standalone Black Panther game is potentially in the works, which is really exciting because the new movie is coming out later this year. And obviously Marvel so far has made, for me anyway, some good hits with, Avengers and then Spider-Man, Miles Morales. They are coming out with a Wolverine game that's really exciting as well. So I don't know, something about Black Panther has always been very special to me. So I'm really keen to see what they do if they do make a full-on game starring just T'Challa, Black Panther.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I really loved, obviously, what a tragic loss in Chadwick Boseman. He is a phenomenal actor, but even beyond him, that Black Panther film had such I love Ryan Coogler, the director. It's such a great tone. It felt so different. I don't think I don't think it's the best action Marvel film, but I think it's the most interesting character Marvel film for a long time. So, and just a really colorful world. So I think it'll lend itself really brilliantly to a game narrative as well. You absorb damage, right? Like the character, the suit is built for a video game.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of like, oftentimes the struggle with the superhero games is the power set, and I think the movement of the two things of going like, it's kind of hard to make an Iron Man game because you can't, like, you're on the ground, you're flying, there's like you need to be in big spaces all the time, all this sort of stuff. Black Panther is very much built to be you are basically just an athletic brawler, and like you said, Pete, you are wearing a video game ability tree suit, which will work perfectly. The thing that I really hope with this, because the word is that it's going to be an open world game, and I just hope that they put it in Wakanda. I think they probably will, but I can't think of anything worse than taking a Black Panther game and going,
putting him in New York City,
in New York,
I think we'd all riot if it's not in Wakanda.
It would just be a disaster, because that is, I think that. I agreed, like the Black Panther movie just has such a distinct look from so much of the rest of the Marvel franchise, and seeing that in a video game, that's not really, that's sort of like the color palettes, the styles, the inspiration, the cultural inspirations that Black Panther draws from are just not things we see in video games that often. So I think I'm really, really excited to see what that's like. You're a big Marvel fan, Diana?
I am, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you take it.
Well, unfortunately for Marvel Avengers, you said that you love the Black Panther DLC. Are you still playing Avengers regularly, or you just came back for that?
No, I just came back for that for a little bit, and then I stopped playing ever since, because cat.
Yeah, we know. Marvel Avengers.
Marvel Avengers, being the big one. Yeah.
To be fair, I really liked Marvel Avengers in general because of Miss Marvel. Kamala Khan sold the game for me.
Yep.
I played her little story and then took a break, and then the DLC, and then okay, I'm done now.
I think that's totally fair. I think like Marvel Avengers has maybe failed as a live service game, but it still had some content chunks that were worth experiencing.
Yeah, definitely.
And our little Will, will still swears by it for some reason.
God bless him. He's a glutton for punishment, that one. The Marvel, obviously, like with the cinematic universe continuing to just expand and grow and be incredibly successful. The video games, they are starting to open that up. So like you said, we're getting a Wolverine game. We've got this. We've got Avengers. We've got Marvel Midnight Suns coming up, which like out of all of them is kind of the one that I am the most excited for. I love card games, and it's sort of like XCOM, another game genre that I love. Are there particular superheroes or kinds of games that you would like to see explored, Diana, beyond this? You said Miss Marvel. I feel like that she was great in that Avengers game, but it was very much like it was like the origin story of her. You weren't sort of like experiencing her as at her full powers. Is that something you'd be interested to see in a standalone game?
It depends because of the TV show. They kind of changed her powers and changed her origin story. So it really depends on, are they going to make a standalone game just for her with this new powers? You know, I mean, now apparently she's a mutant and not an inhuman. So what does that mean? I would actually
It means
love.
they're trying to seed the X-Men
Yeah,
films
pretty
for
much.
9 years' time. Yeah.
I'm only up to episode 5 in Miss Marvel, so now I know the ending.
Oh, whoops! I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I am spoilers for chat, but I am really enjoying that show as well. It's got, again, it's like, I think for me, Marvel stories work really well when they're. I love the kids Marvel stories, like because the lower stakes feel more realistic and exciting to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
It works well with Spider-Man. It's worked really well with Miss Marvel, or stories that aren't set in generic America City.
Mm.
So like Black Panther did a really good job of that. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy does a good job of that. I don't necessarily love the story, the plots of those, but I think they at least show you something exciting and different. So
Yeah.
there's still a lot to pull from Marvel.
Have you guys seen Moon Knight?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Man.
Give me that man.
Give me that man.
Marvel, give me that man. Give him to me. Good. Yeah. Well, I'm super keen to check this out. Hopefully, super keen if it does come to fruition. I think that there's no doubt we're going to be seeing just a glut of Marvel games over the next 10 years or so. But yeah, Black Panther, I think, is a no-brainer considering the success of that, the uniqueness of the character, and then also the fact that, like Pete said, he is just already a video game character walking around. So more of that will come out when they are ready to tell us. Peter,
Yes?
what are you ready to tell us about stories from this week?
I'm ready to tell you about the apparent glory of Discord.
How good is Discord, Pete? How easy to use is Discord?
Part of the audio issue we had this morning was that Discord was being a real pain in the butt. But Discord is on Xbox. Xbox has given Discord proper support on Xbox for insiders at the moment, and it's rolling out for everyone. So this means a proper separate voice channel, voice communications app to the Xbox voice party. And while the voice party thing, I think, has been quite effective with this generation, definitely Discord is where everyone is, and it's been quite absurd with these modern consoles to not see decent app support for these. We've only seen, tie your accounts together and people on Discord can see that you're playing on your Xbox or your PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which is useless. Like, who gives a shit? But Discord is probably the most interesting, powerful app for gamers at the moment on PCs. So seeing some of that power go across into the hands of console gamers is awesome, and just making it easy for people to move around and communicate while playing games is really, really cool. So I'm excited to see that Discord is finally getting the respect that it deserves. It's not just like maybe. This is really important that it's on consoles.
Okay. Do you think people will move away from party chat on Xbox and just stick to Discord?
I think they will. I haven't used it myself, but it looks like the implementation is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
Pete,
Had to cough one out.
For podcast
Milky.
listeners, Pete he just fell apart. Milky?
I'm a bit milky.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I haven't used it, but I imagine if the functionality is as seamless as it appears to be, then absolutely it will replace party chat. I imagine it will have built the Discord's kind of like noise cancellation and those kinds of things, those extra little bits and pieces that, particularly for console gamers who are often just wearing a headset with an open mic, Xbox Party has reasonable noise cancellation and stuff now, but Discord is something that everyone is familiar with. So getting those plugins going is going to be really, really nifty. You do much?
And I sensed a bit of sadness about Xbox Party Chat in your voice there.
No, actually, to be fair, I stopped using Party Chat as soon as I used to just get little boys screaming in my ear when I play games with them. So I tend to just, put everything on mute now.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, fair.
Do you use Discord when you play? Is this are you on Discord servers with friends or anything?
I'm part of several servers, too many to be honest, which is probably a bit overwhelming. But most of the time now, I stop playing with people not in my household. It's just one of those things now. The single player games actually take my interest a lot more than multiplayer games these days.
Yeah. I guess the ecosystem for like friends and stuff on Xbox has become quite confusing to me. I'm sure anyone who's using it day to day is more across it, but it feels like I'm pretty sure if you're set to like a public account, as soon as you add someone as a friend, they don't need to reciprocate. You've added them, you can see them and their online activity, which I don't know, maybe is fine, but feels a little unsafe for younger gamers to be getting like people sending them messages and stuff. And the thing that's good about Discord, and this work that goes into each of them, but Discord is a DM system. It's like it's a forum. I'm sure every kid at school is like sharing Discords with their mates, and to be able to just go, oh, we'll just use our safe Discord. We know everyone who's in here. This is like we can just be in our own space again on the Xbox. Like it's such a boon for the console. So PlayStation bought a minority stake in Discord.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
but still.
So I imagine
some implementation in the same way.
I imagine this is coming to PlayStation at some point, and whether or not this was more like Microsoft either paid for it or said, "Hey, we can help with underlying infrastructure or something to help you get this system working. You can use this as like a beta test before you get it out there." So because I think that Sony would be fools to not make sure that this is on their platform as well. Because I do think, like you said, it's just one less, not even necessarily barrier, because Xbox already had voice chat, but it just means if you are already in a Discord with someone, it's like, oh, we can just easily play this game on Xbox. We don't need to play on PlayStation. We're already on Xbox. We're already on the Discords. This is where we talk. So this is just like one more little like lubricating reason to go pick Xbox over something else, because it has this, we're already using this, and that's totally fine. I see, because I'm traveling to Sydney at least once a week on the train for the Thursday Night Back Pocket Show, my train trip, halfway through, like 200 school kids hop on.
Gosh.
It's right at the end of like a school day, and so suddenly all these kids are in the carriage. They are all on Discord. They are sharing Discord. They are sharing memes and like talking to each other on Discord while they're sitting next to each other. I was literally sitting behind these two guys who were messaging each other and sending each other pictures as they were sitting next to each other in their Discord. And the Discord channel that they were talking in was just called Dank Memes. And I was like, if that isn't just completely a symbol of everything that is wrong with children today, that I can't think of what is. I think this is great. I think this is huge for Discord as well. Not that it needed more validation as being the communication system of choice for people who play video games, but this is like Xbox have gone, we see you as a long-term player in this space. This is like, you're not just a thing that's happening right now. We're baking you into our system. We think that this is basically how people are going to be communicating in the video game space for years to come. And this is like, a big boon to them. So I'm very happy to see it, because I think Discord is a really phenomenal service. Well, that's great. Hopefully, it will make its way over to PlayStation. See no reason why it shouldn't. In the meantime, Nintendo continues to just be like, we don't give a fuck who you talk to. You can.
You're not allowed to talk to anyone.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to talk. That's the main thing. We don't care who you want to talk to, but we don't want you to talk to anybody. The final story for this one. This was like a big one. No official word has actually come out, but a Bloomberg report from Jason Schreier came out talking about GTA 6 and some information about what we can expect from GTA 6. The two main things being that GTA 6 will apparently star a female as one of the lead protagonists. Apparently, the story is a Bonnie and Clyde inspired tale about bank robbers, and one of those two robbers will be a female character. This won't necessarily be the first playable character in a GTA game, because in GTA 1 and in GTA 2 on the Game Boy, you could pick a female character as the player, but it's like not voiced. You don't see them. Who gives a shit? They're not actually
characters. Yeah.
No, it's just a picture at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So I did see people go, like, this is the first female. Shut the fuck up. In terms of a meaningful representation, this is absolutely the first time this has happened in a series that has been, I think what's a delicate way of putting this? Fucking awful when it comes to any sort of like female representation in their video games. So that being the first one, and then the second thing being that apparently the game will be updated over time with new cities and missions coming in the sort of single player portion of the game. And that new missions is one thing, new cities being something else entirely, that we'll be getting new parts of America. I believe that Miami, or like a parody of Miami, will be the first sort of main city that you start in. And then after that, they're going to start adding new ones. So Diana, what is your experience and history with GTA as a series? And how do you feel about what we've heard about GTA 6 so far?
I mean, I think I've only played like once of GTA 5. And being a terrible variety gamer, I think I killed my characters so many times that I just gave up after a few tries. I cannot play games like this. I'm just terrible. But the fact that it's, got a female character, maybe I'll be more inclined to play. Maybe they'll be slightly easier on newbies like me. Still consider myself new because I don't know how to play these games.
Yeah, right. I feel like Pete, one of the things that has not been, or it has been said, but like the big thing hanging over GTA 6 is that GTA Online is still such a beast at the moment, and it is just making them so much money that how do you feel about the news that we've heard so far, but also how do you feel that they're going to go with transitioning GTA Online from GTA 5 to this, because it needs to be incorporated in some capacity?
Yeah. Does it? Or is like, I saw you make a sound, but I didn't hear it.
I made it incredibly high pitch. I was so high pitched that Discord was like, no one needs to hear that. That was clearly a mistake.
I think GTA Online could exist as it does now through the lifespan of GTA 6, with GTA 6 being a much better looking game, different feeling game, whatever, new engine, upgraded engine. I'm sure if they can work out a way to, if they want to have GTA Online kind of step up to the next generation. And I say that because games like Minecraft and games like Roblox and games like RuneScape succeed well beyond their years, right? Like, and I don't think there's any point in stirring the GTA Online pot. Why not leave that its own thing? I don't think they'll feel necessarily incentivized to go like, you existed in GTA Online and therefore you're rewarded with GTA 6 online, buy all of your equipment and purchases and stuff carrying across. Which is why I think they would just let GTA Online continue to exist. It's making so much money that just like keep a server farm running for it. And continue and keep a team supporting it. Like it's just there's content every 6 months for GTA Online, and it's always selling, right? So maybe even more frequent than 6 months. So I would like to see GTA 6 standalone. I feel like Rockstar would, from a creative standpoint, also separate it from GTA Online and GTA 5, because you can absolutely. There's plenty to critique about what Rockstar produce, but I think what they nail every time is an understanding of an open world that's never been realized. Every time they kind of they go above and beyond anything you can expect from an open world. They do it with Red Dead. They do it with GTA, and a really cutting satire for the time. I think they pretty much nail their satire every time. I feel like they absolutely have failed particular huge parts of the community. It's really like, it's often just like an American male centric story. Even GTA 4 being like the European immigrant coming across, it was still very much about like the American dream, exactly. The male American dream of getting shot up by the mafia. Which, who wouldn't dream like that? So I think they'll deliver something, a story and characters that are interesting, and I'm glad to hear that there's going to be better representation, because I don't think that they will fumble a female character. I think they will do as good a job of characterization and storytelling with that character as they will with anyone in a satirical sense. These characters are not realistic. They're larger than life. They're stupid. But they're so effective in the stories that are being told, and I think they'll nail that no matter who the character is. So, I think the more representation, the better, and I think they'll have more interesting things to say because they've said the 40-year-old American dude story 400 times.
Well, hopefully, because I think that they would really be struggling at the moment to parody America. With America doing a pretty good job of that itself. That like how much more ridiculous can you get where you just go like, oh, that's just how America is, and that's not really satire. You're just sort of holding up a mirror. So I don't envy them trying to come up with a satire of America, but I do think that you're right. Even as something as simple of apparently the character is going to be have a Latin background, so it's like a Latina character who is a woman. You go, well, there's already like two things there that you have not explored in a meaningful way in your games nearly ever with a lead character, and so therefore there is story potential. It's funny what you said about GTA Online. I totally disagree. I think GTA Online for 5 will continue, but I think that. To me, it sounds like I don't think they necessarily want to disconnect GTA single player game to GTA Online in this next one. GTA Online was like this thing that happened, which they didn't necessarily expect, and then turned so huge that they were like, well, we have to keep supporting this now. This is incredible. With this one, by the sound of like adding cities and missions as we go, where it's like that single player content, but I think that it sounds like it's being built on the bones. To me, I would think they would build it on the bones of the GTA Online, whatever the new version of that is, and basically go, well, your character.
Sorry, I agree there'll be a new GTA Online. I just thought you meant, are they going to keep this current one in GTA 6, which I don't think they would.
Yeah. Well, I think that for me, the really interesting thing is going like, what do you do to make a new GTA Online? Because the part of the joy about GTA Online for so many people is like the roleplay servers, the things that like modders and the community have come up with. And as soon as developers start trying to officially implement things that do the same things that people have sort of hacked together themselves, oftentimes it's like, well, that's the wrong way to go about this. That's like the corporate way of doing this, or that's not the thing that we wanted from this. And as soon as it becomes something that's officially supported, it's now, well, okay, we have to do it the way that you want us to do it, as opposed to like making the game what we want. And I see so many people, and Diana, I don't know if you have experience with GTA Online, but like I see, or people I've seen so many people go like, I go to GTA Online because I live a different life in that game, and it is so strange. Have you seen some of these stories, Diana, about like the roleplay servers and stuff with GTA?
I know how popular it is. I know that a lot of my friends do play online, and they just spend hours and hours and hours doing it. And for the life of me, I can never understand it. And they're like, yeah, it's because I can live out my fantasies online. It's like, what kind of fantasies do you have?
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing that like some of these, because I thought the same thing. I was like, what, all your fantasies are just like you want to be a bank robber or something. But so many people like, no, the thing that I do is like, I'm a cop. And, but like I pull people over for traffic infringement in GTA, or like I own a chop shop and I just fix up people's cars. Like it's really mundane stuff. It's like a lot of it is not the like high stakes, heisty stuff. It's just like I'm in there and I just wander around like as this character and adhere to the rules of the universe in there. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing like how they balance what they officially put in the game and what sort of like, I guess like empty space that they build into their systems that will allow people to fill with the things that they organically find, as opposed to go like, okay, now you can like officially be employed as like a mail delivery person, but if you do that, you have to adhere to the rules that we've put in the game on how to do this, as opposed to like just the role play server has decided this is how this job works in our economy. So
Yeah. Definitely feels restricting, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it would be weird for them to release whatever the next online version is and not be consulting some of the creators of these big role playing servers, because I think like they've found something that the developers did not know was there, and it is like, and people are frothing for it. So.
Yeah,
totally.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the final thing on that is that the game, there's no release date. They're talking potentially like in the next 2 years, but there's doubt that will actually happen, because internally there is no pressing need to get this game out, because not only is GTA Online still making just millions of dollars, but even GTA 5 is still regularly in like top
of the
10
sellers,
and you just go like there's apparently so little pressure to get this game done that people within the studio have quit, because they're like, it just feels like this is not moving fast enough. But then a lot of other people are like, no, we're actually kind of chill with the fact that we don't need to crunch so hard to get this done. So yeah, they are not making any huge rushes, but it'll come out when it's done. And another game that will come out when it's done is Lord of the Rings Gollum, which was supposed to be coming out September 1st. So in a month, but that's actually been delayed a few months, which will push it into early 2023. The developers came out and said they're dedicated to meeting our community's expectations and uncovering the untold story of Gollum in a way that honors the vision of J.R.R. Tolkien. That being said, in order to deliver the best possible experience, we've decided to push the release of The Lord of the Rings Gollum by a few months. We'll update you with an exact timing in the near future. I am very interested to see how that game turns out. Diana, are you planning on checking out Lord of the Rings Gollum when it drops early next year now?
Technically, the studio is owned by the company that owns my workplace, so I'll just get to play it for free and not even talk about it. So that'll be fun.
There you go.
Awesome.
Good. Free video game, no pressure in which to create any content around it. That sounds ideal.
And then not talk about it at all as well. So.
Yeah. You know that passion? No.
Yeah, exactly.
No. So we'll see how Lord of the Rings.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it looked really good in the trailers, so.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like who's making it? Who's the dev team?
It's
is it Daedalic?
Yes, it's Daedalic. Yeah.
It's not.
No, it is. I can't remember, to be honest.
I'll look it up.
No, it's Daedalic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. So I think like I wasn't necessarily blown away by some of the footage we've seen so far, but I think from a gameplay perspective, they always make really competent, solid, like often stealthy, interesting games. So looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And that is all the video game news that's happened this week. There's nothing else you need to know.